My name is Matt Noikos.
My name is Kevin Flannery.
This business that we've had in Grand Rapids has been about a little bit over a year. In October, we opened last year.
I'm the principal partner in this and the source of the funding, and I play bass in the Grand Rapids Symphony, and this is my 39th season. I have been making and repairing basses for about 39 of those years. When I moved to town, the symphony paid so little that I had to find something else to do. So I apprenticed myself with a guy that owned a violin shop and learned instrument repair.
I think they're both unique. I like having a little bit of both, and the making from scratch is nice because it's kind of you're making something new. It's exciting, and you're kind of making something that's going to last for years and years. There's an artistic aspect of it that I enjoy, and I think it fulfills some sort of need that I have. But I also enjoy the challenge of restoration work. I think what I enjoy about restoration work is that every project that comes in is different. I can't. What worked on one instrument doesn't necessarily work on the next, and you have to encounter everything is different. When you make your own instruments, you make them from scratch, and you kind of know what to expect, especially when you're making the same model over and over and over. And there is something attractive about kind of repeating something and trying to perfect every little aspect of it. But the nice thing about restoration work is it's different every time. So I do enjoy that. And the techniques, I think the technical aspects of restoration work are really intense. You have to have a lot of control with your tool skills. Not that you don't have to have control with making, but it's just a different kind of discipline. And I think being able to do both, in my experience, I think helps. Each one helps each other. I enjoy making cellos a lot, I would say. I do enjoy violins too. I think it gets the violin is because it's smaller. I think it's very focused. You have to kind of fine tune your ideas because it's within a smaller framework. So it's just kind of like focusing all your efforts. It would be the equivalent, I think, of a composer composing a piece for maybe orchestra versus string quartet. Some of the best music is by different composers is written for string quartet because they had to kind of focus all their ideas into 4 parts. So I would say maybe violin making would be maybe in the same kind of idea because it's all very small, and you have to every little tiny deviation from a line will make a big difference. And cello, I like it too because it's larger ideas and overarching kind of like larger movements when you're making it too. You are doing an arch over a longer span of area rather than the smaller. So I'd say that there's advantages of both, but I think if I had to just I think it's good to make a violin once in a while because it focuses your energy. But I think I enjoy making cellos more.
It's an act of creation. It's almost like bringing a child into the world. I mean, without all the mess. But it's just a tremendous amount of work, even with a violin, which is so small, it's ridiculous. I mean, a bass, the difference between making a violin and making a bass is a violin is you're building a little shed. You know, you have a few pieces of 2x4 and you nail them together and slap on some shingles and you're done. I mean, it's not that simple, and it's a very complicated task. A bass, you're building a house, so you have piles of timber and you're going berserk and, pounding in all these nails and getting really tired of the whole affair. But I enjoy basses. I've made a number of basses. I'm on my 18th one right now. I have made a number of Baroque instruments. I've made 3 viola da gambas, bass viola da gambas, and a couple of violonis, which is the 5-string precursor to the double bass. But I make and repair basses, and you can't do them in a violin shop. We have 800 square feet here, and I open up a bass and take the top off it, and you have no space. And as you can see, it's pretty tight quarters.
So what's the best part about my work? I would say maybe the sensory experience of it. Um, I love I love that this engages all my senses. So I come into a shop, and even kind of the gross smell of hide glue I like. Like it has there's a certain smell to everything. Like the wood has a scent to it. The varnish materials have a scent to it. Every time I open that cabinet and I have with all the varnish supplies in it, it has this wonderful smell to it. Lavender oil, spike oil, I use for different things to thin varnish out. It smells amazing. So I think those kinds of things. I'm just talking about smells. It seems like, but so there's that the visual aspect. Some of these instruments are beautiful, especially the way that the varnish plays. If somebody really gets the varnish right, they can have this gorgeous look to it, where the light kind of bounces off the wood, and so it engages my eyes. There's always these beautiful things to look at, and violins themselves, like the shape, it's a very pleasing shape. It's very a classical design to it, and obviously the auditory aspect of it too. I mean, I love hearing the instruments played. I love having customers come in. We'll have some excellent players come in and play, and it's just I just love having every bit of that. Even hearing the way that when I'm carving something, hearing the way that the wood, because there's so many things I can get information wise. That's why I don't wear headphones. A lot of people just there are people who wear headphones at work, and I don't, because when I'm carving a top or doing something, like I can tell how my plane's working by just how the wood comes off of the blade, and how sharp the blade is. I can hear it, and it has a certain sound to it when it's working right. And I get a lot of information from carving something, and the way the chips are coming off, and but I love that. I love hearing all of those sounds. So I think the sensory experience, and the feeling. There's so many things to, the touch of the instruments, and there's so much to take in, and I think every aspect of this of that I like, and I also think I like I like reading about instruments. I like reading about the business. The articles in the Strad magazine. I like just being 100% into this world, because there's a whole world. There's players. There are the dealers who deal with instruments, and there's so many people that are involved in so many different aspects of the business, and I like being a part of all of that.